Hiya, I'm ThatJaymsWisdom, and this is another episode of And Another Thing, and today I'm going to be talking about Pokemon Go, Overwatch, and my Samsung phone. Welcome back everybody to And Another Thing. If you haven't been here before, this is where I talk about a bunch of things that have happened in the last 2 weeks, usually pop culture related type things, video games, films, TV, that kind of stuff. But basically, anything that's been interesting to me or has an impact on my life in the last 2 weeks. Previous week is The Naked Truth, which is usually a response to Trisha Hirschberger's series, The Naked Truth. Or I do my own, depending on what has happened with Trisha that week. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit more about Pokemon Go, which I talked about in the previous episode. I also want to talk about the new Overwatch character who just came out. And I also want to talk about my Samsung smartphone, which has been a nightmare for the last week or so. So let's start with Pokemon Go, because that's a nice easy one to start with. So this last week or so, they've had raids that have been for the legendary birds. They finally released legendary birds in Pokemon Go. And they did this in sort of coordination with their events, their Pokemon Go Fest events around the world. And the first legendary bird was available in raids in the new gym system. So basically the idea of a raid is you go to a Pokemon gym when a raid is happening, and there's a Pokemon there for about an hour to 2 hours, and you fight it, and if you beat it you get the opportunity to catch it. And the idea of a raid, of course, like in an MMORPG kind of thing, or an MMO whatever, you are supposed to do it with a bunch of people. And that's been the trick for me, is that I've fought an Articuno, which is the first one they dropped. Moltres has started this week, and then next week you get Zapdos. So that's the order that they're coming out in, and they're going to be available for a week in the gyms, and then they're not going to be available anymore. Now hopefully they'll come back either for other events, or they'll just sort of get into the rotation of legendary Pokemon appearing at gyms, which I think will just be a much rarer occurrence after this kind of 3-week period. Now Lugia is also available. I don't know whether Lugia is available for the full 3 weeks or whether it's just available for that one. I haven't checked today. It is Monday, so it's swapped over to Moltres as of today, I believe. But Articuno and Lugia have been available for a week, and I've tried to catch them. Now, I have had zero luck. I've got neither of them. I've managed to fight both of them maybe twice, because basically it's really hard to find 10 other people, which is the minimum number of people you need to beat one of these gyms in the sort of area that I'm in. So I'm in a town, a decent sized town, and there are a bunch of people in the local area that have a Facebook group that are like, let's go and meet up here, oh, I'm near this gym, and it's trying to arrange people to get there. As far as I can tell from the 5 or 6 days I've been there, I haven't seen a full kind of enough people get together for them actually to take one of these gyms. Now I had also another issue with, I found a group of people that were fighting it. There were about 10 or 11 of them, maybe 12. I just saw them walking around. I'm like, oh, they're going to a gym. I'll go and do that raid with them. I did the raid. And of course, then the chance of actually catching the Pokemon is only like about 1 in 10 people, maybe 2 in 10 people of the group are likely to catch it, just based on the catch chance rate at the end. So it has made them really, really difficult to catch. Now, I was really, first of all, I was very anti the way they'd done this, because I'm a solo player. I have never played Pokemon Go with other people. I don't really have any friends locally that play it. Occasionally, I'll be out with someone that I know that also plays it, and we'll both play the game. But generally speaking, I am a solo player. I wander around. I hatch eggs through walking to and from work usually. I catch Pokemon if I'm about in a particular area. I'll go and just look to see what's available and what's around and catch them. And for the most part, I filled up my Pokedex minus about 4 Pokemon from all of Gen 1 and Gen 2, with the exceptions of the regional specific ones and the legendary birds. So the legendary birds being available was a really nice thing, but I can't catch them as a solo player. and it's been really hard for me to actually find any way of even attempting to get these legendary birds. So I fought Articuno once, and we failed, so I didn't get the chance to catch Articuno. And I fought Lugia once, and we won, but I didn't catch it. I also found a group of 20 people, including myself, so it was a full party of people fighting Lugia at the local Pokemon gym, just really close to where I live. Just on my way home from work, I saw a bunch of people. I'm like, oh, I'll go and join them. And I joined in, and of course, my phone decided that it wasn't going to work correctly or something. My GPS just jumps all over the place. It always has. But as soon as the raid started, they all jumped in. I went to jump in, and it errored, and I didn't even get to fight it, which was really frustrating as well. And since then, I haven't had the opportunity to meet up with people to fight these gyms. So that's a real bummer for me. I found that the Pokemon Go experience with these raids has been really disappointing. It's really just irritating, mostly. You don't get to keep your premium balls or premier balls that you get from each raid. When you do a raid, you get the balls, and then those balls can be used to catch the Pokemon that you just fought. If you don't use them, you lose them. So however well you do, that's the amount of opportunity you've got to catch the Pokemon. So you can't stockpile them for particular Pokemon that you want from doing raids. You've just got to take the 7 Pokeballs you get, or the 6 Pokeballs you get, or the 9 I think is the maximum you can get. And if you don't catch it in those 9, tough, you'll have to do it again. And with the legendary Pokemon, that is a real pain. So anyway, that's kind of it. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. Like, I like that they exist, and I like the way they've put them into raids, but they really need to be available to people that don't have the availability of 10 friends. And I get why they've done it, because they want this to be a social gaming experience where you meet up with real people and you play a game to fight a gym, to fight a raid, and you've met some people in the real world out and about whilst playing a game. And that's a nice idea, and I like that idea, and it worked really well when I met with those 20 people. Everybody was having a nice chat, everybody was really friendly, and it was just it was cool. So I get what they're after there, but it does make it very frustrating for people that either, don't have the time or the opportunity to go to those places and meet with 10, 20 other people, or that just, have been happily soloing the game and not playing with friends. It's a little frustrating. So my phone recently updated. It was about a week ago, maybe now, that my phone updated. And I think what it is my Samsung phone updated to the newest version of Android, which is Nougat. And it also updated all of the Samsung stuff that went with it. And that has been an absolute disaster. Practically everything on my phone has stopped working. So it started off with things like my calendar app. So I have an app that consolidates all of my Outlook calendar for work with my Google Calendar for my kind of personal stuff, and kind of amalgamates them all together, so they're all on my phone, so I can just check both of them at the same time in a nice little kind of drop down, basically. And that's great. But as soon as I got this update, that app stopped working. Don't know why. And I couldn't add dates to that calendar. If I clicked on the calendar, it gave me the option to go to the calendar and add some dates, but when I clicked on the button, it didn't open anything. That was the first thing. That's irritating, but it's not the end of the world. It's an app that's a calendar app that doesn't work. I still got the other 2 calendars that I can use, that kind of thing. The next thing that stopped working was my accelerometer thing. So the thing that kind of your phone knows what way up it is, basically. So when I was playing Pokemon Go, when you turn the phone upside down, the screen goes black, so that it the idea is it saves a little bit of energy, and you can hold it sort of down like that. But the problem I was having is it would turn off when I held it upside down. When I turned it back the right way up, it wouldn't turn back on. And sometimes I'd just be holding it upright and it would think it was upside down. So the accelerometer just wasn't working correctly, and I'd have to sort of knock on the front of the screen like that to get it to work, which is never a good thing with a smartphone. You never want to be banging on the screen if you can help it. But that was the only way I could seem to get it to not reset the accelerometer, but register that the accelerometer wasn't upside down or at a weird angle or something like that. So that happened. It hasn't been working in my car for a little while. The Bluetooth from my phone to my car has been dodgy. So it's fine when I'm listening to music. It'll stream music to my car, which is good because that's the main thing I want it to do. But I also have a hands-free set, which is part of the same thing in my car. And whenever I get a phone call, I should be able to press the button by the side of me on my car to accept the phone call and then have a phone call. But as soon as I do that at the moment, what's happening is it's just cutting in and out of the phone call. So the Bluetooth is lost for a moment and I'm just doing it through the phone. And obviously the speaker's not on, so nobody can hear me. Then it'll come back for a second, then it'll go away for a second, and then I can't close the call. So that was a pain. That's been a issue for a while, though. That's not necessarily to do with this update, but it's certainly not helped by it. And then, of course, the last thing, the last straw, shall we say, was that I was sending a text message and the keyboard crashed. So the Samsung keyboard decided it wanted to just crash. I don't know what happened exactly. I sent the text. I was about to press send on the message and it said, Samsung keyboard has stopped working. Click on the button to tell it that's okay, whatever. And then I pressed the send button because that was still available. And then after that text message, every app I opened, that message would pop up saying Samsung keyboard has crashed repeatedly. So I couldn't open any apps without that happening, which meant no Messenger apps would work because the Samsung keyboard would crash. I thought, well, that's fine. I'll just try a different keyboard. But you can't turn off the Samsung keyboard because it's one of those baked in bits of software on the phone. So the Samsung keyboard is always on, regardless of whether another keyboard is on. And as soon as that keyboard crashes, the keyboard just doesn't load. So I couldn't send a single text message. I couldn't do anything with my phone. It was basically bricked. I could play Pokemon Go because I don't need a keyboard for that. You know, the message would keep popping up over and over again, but I could cancel it out and stuff like that. Also Netflix stopped working for some reason. I can't connect to Netflix anymore, so I can't watch Netflix on my phone. All of these things happened, and it doesn't seem like a lot of these issues are one-offs. I was looking up to see if this was an issue, and people are just talking about there are lots of issues with Nougat on the Galaxy S6. I think it's the S6 and the S7 it just pushed to, and the phone has gone completely to shit. So that's been happening with my phone. It's also been restarting arbitrarily, randomly, just like in the middle of sending a message, or I put my phone down last night, having already fixed all of these errors, I might add. Put my phone down last night to charge. As soon as I put it on the charging dock, screen went blank, Samsung logo comes up, and it just restarts. And it's been doing that a lot as well, so I don't know what's going on there. I did fix it, so if anyone is having these same issues, basically what you have to do is do a full hardware reset. And that's hold the volume up button, the power button, and the home button on the device all at once when restarting the phone. So you turn the phone off, hold all those buttons down, it should start up, Samsung logo comes up, keep holding those buttons, and it should take you to a boot menu like you'd see on a PC, where you can scroll down and select reset to factory settings, basically. And that worked. I mean, obviously I lost all my data. I think I've lost a bunch of phone numbers. So my brother texted me this morning, and it says that the number is not one that I recognise. So the number that was saved under my brother's number was not my brother's number, which is explain why he didn't respond to my text message yesterday. But that has been a real pain in the backside. So I've been looking at getting a new phone, and I'm probably not going to get a Samsung if that's going to be a thing that happens with my Samsung. So I was looking at getting the new Pixel phone, or not, well, yes, the new Pixel, so the Pixel 2, which is out in October. Now, I can wait until October and just use my phone as it is. It's fine-ish. It'll do anyway. Because it should come out in October, we think, based on rumours. But also the phone has just been announced, and I'm now less convinced I want to get it. I wanted to get the Google phone, but I thought there's not much point me getting the Google Pixel, because that's been out for a while and I know there's a new one on the horizon, so I might as well wait for the new one. Problem is, Apple have seemed to have started a trend with no headphone jack. So there's no headphone jack on the new Pixel, one of the new HTCs, and I think a new Samsung as well, I'm not sure. But that means all of the flagship devices, like the really high-end devices, have no headphone jack, which I find a really odd thing, because I thought, personally, there was a huge amount of backlash against Apple for not having a headphone jack, so I don't understand why all of these other companies have decided to do the same thing. It might well be the best trick Apple have ever played. If they can convince everybody else to drop the headphone jack and then bring it back first, great, that sounds like a brilliant idea. The other possibility I realised is maybe I'm just being old. Like, this sounds like the sort of thing that a parent would grumble about. Oh, in my day we had this. In my day we didn't have to go and buy special blah, 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 because we could just use anything in our mobile phone. And it sounds like the kind of thing that a teenager would roll their eyes at and say, oh, God, Dad, just deal with it. It's just better, and so on and so forth. So I might just be being old. I don't know, though. I don't feel like I am, but I'm also open to that possibility. So I'm looking at getting the Google phone, but I am a little miffed as to why there's no headphone jack on that, or why it looks like there probably won't be. We'll see what comes bundled with it. It could be a case of you get some Bluetooth headphones, but those Bluetooth headphones also charge through the bottom of the device, so that you can listen to music on your headphones for 12 hours without running out of battery. And not having to recharge them, because obviously that's the big issue for me with the Bluetooth headphones, is that they Bluetooth to your phone, which could be a pain. It might make it a pain for Bluetoothing to other devices as well at the same time. So my watch, for example, if I want to Bluetooth that to my phone and I've got headphones Bluetooth to it, are they both going to work together? Are they going to be compatible? The other thing, of course, is the battery, which the phone's battery is going to be impacted by being on Bluetooth, and so are the headphones batteries, okay? And that's another thing. We don't have batteries in headphones at the moment, so why do we need them in them coming forwards? So that's another thing. And I guess I've been talking for quite a while now, so I will just very quickly talk about this last thing, which is I want to talk about Overwatch. So last week, Thursday, just gone, they dropped the new character in Overwatch. So Doomfist is out, the character that everybody's been waiting for, and really like, oh, when are we getting Doomfist? Everybody thought that Orisa was going to be Doomfist, and a lot of people were really disappointed by Orisa. I actually really like Orisa, actually, having just said that. Orisa was, when I first started playing as her, I'm like, I'm not sure, I don't quite get her, but I've played a little bit more, and I'm a big fan of the tank characters generally anyway. I tend to play tank in that game, tank or healer. Or defense, I guess. I've got a couple of defense characters I like, but tank and healer tend to be my main two. I'm not very good on attack, and that's part of the reason I was particularly excited for Doomfist, because he's very, very different. He's like a fighting character in a first-person shooter game, and that's what they were aiming for. So his moves are all punches. He's got good range, because his first wind up, shoot forwards punch has a good range, or a really good range. So that is really useful. So it makes him kind of have a range, like a shotgun blast ranged move, but it also drags him with it. It's like having a shotgun blast that takes him with it. And I like the look of him. I haven't had a chance to play as him properly yet, though, because obviously he only came out on Thursday, and there are 2 modes that you can really play as him in. There's a bunch of modes you could play as him in, of course, but the main mode that they released was like a 6v6 elimination match, meaning that when you die, you're out, and it's the first team to kill all of the opponents. And that's everybody is Doomfist, which is cool, but it means that you don't really get the opportunity to play as Doomfist against other characters and see how he works in a less sort of close combat role. So how do you use Doomfist against, a bunch of tanks or a bunch of healers or whatever? How do you get behind the ranks and all of that kind of stuff? And nobody ever gets their special, so I've still never used his special. The other thing, of course, is I could play as him in the normal matches, just a normal quick play match. But, of course, quick play, people pick him and then he's already out. So everybody wants to pick him because he's just come out. So I haven't had a chance to play as him yet, but I am really looking forward to playing as him, because I think he's going to be the attack character that I will be most useful as, probably. I'm trying to get into an attack character because I've got I can play as reasonably well as 3 different tank characters. I've got two healers that I quite like, Anna and Zenyatta, and I've also got Mei on defense that I really like playing as well. So I've got like this range of characters, and I just want to have an attack character so that if I'm, you know, in a party of people that have picked all different like random characters and there's no attack character, or we need an extra attack character because we're on attack and we've only got one, I can pick an attack character and feel like I can do as well as if I'd picked a tank character or something like that, because that's been the trick for me. I'm really trying to get an attack character play going and trying to work so I can fill any role in the team if I need to. So yeah, like I like the look of him. He looks cool, and I'm excited to play as him properly. I'm also really looking forward to the Summer Games events. There's going to be the first repeated event in Overwatch, and that, rumour has it, will be either, you know, probably tomorrow or next Monday. Well, next Tuesday it'll roll over into. So hopefully that'll be really good. New costumes. We'll see how Blizzard are going to actually work with these repeat events now, because we've had the game for a year and we had all these different events, and now what they've said is they're doing something new every month, and this would be an event, so it's probably going to be the August event. It's going to be, here you are, have all of this, you know, new stuff, new content. I think they might be releasing special guns, so you can have just guns in the loot boxes, rather than getting costumes. So you get gun skins as well as normal just character skins, which could be cool as well. So we'll see what happens there. I guess that's it. I mean, I didn't really know what I was going to do for this, so hopefully this has been an alright video. I just kind of thought of 3 things before I started filming, and that's the end of that. So yeah, I've been ThatJaymsWisdom. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments. Got any comments about, you know, whether you think I'm being old because I'm pissing and moaning about the lack of a headphone jack on upcoming devices, whether or not you think Pokemon Go is actually really good and you like the raid system, and what you think of Doomfist. Like, let me know any of those things in the comments, and keep smiling. Thank you very kindly, and I'll see you all next week. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and all of that stuff. Last week's And Another Thing is below me. Naked Truth is beside that. And I haven't been to the cinema this week, but I'm going to go today and see Dunkirk. And I'm also going to see Valerian later in the week as well. So check out Twitter and look for those.